Well, Michelle, we're going to make fermented polenta fingers, and this is a recipe I actually made up many years ago, and it's absolutely delicious.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Now, Italians often use polenta as in a porridge to put onto their dinner plate as the carbohydrate part of their meal. But to tell the truth, I find that terribly boring. But we've got here, if you can just show the viewers what we've got here in this container. We've got polenta that's been soaking in water with the addition of a little bit of water kefir, and it's been sitting in there for about 4 or 5 days now. And it certainly has signs of fermenting, doesn't it? Yes, it's all fizzy there.
Yep.
So if you can now pour off the excess water, and then the contents will go into a saucepan with a bit more fresh water added to it. And then we'll cook it up like a porridge. So obviously it's very dry now, so we have to add more water to just make it swim a little. So we want to have enough water in there for the maize starch to swell up with the heat, but not too much, because otherwise the mixture is so wet and you've got to keep on stirring it. And what we're aiming for is a very, very thick porridge that we're then going to put out onto the bench and shape into a rectangle or a square, and then cut it into bars ready to fry up once it's cooled down. So now a little bit of salt will help, otherwise it could still be a little bit bland. So I've got a bit of rock salt here.
Just a pinch?
Maybe a good teaspoon or so worth, just to give that little bit of salty flavour through, otherwise it can still be a little bit on the bland side. That should be fine. And now we'll just crank up the heat and start cooking it into the thickest porridge you've ever made.
On medium heat?
Just you start high, and then once it starts bubbling you can turn it down a bit. Yeah.
Fun.
Okay, so we've got that polenta porridge as thick as you can possibly make it. Look, it's just a thick glug now, isn't it?
Sure is.
So just dump it onto the bench, and with the back of the wooden spoon you can start patting it into shape, and I normally just aim for a rectangle. It will cool down very quickly, and as it cools down enough I start patting it down with my hand. But with the back of the wooden spoon you can try to make edges, and just aim for around 1/2 inch or a couple of centimetres thick, and we'll cut them into bars and we'll be ready to fry them up. How's that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, you can turn them around now.
Just golden.
Lovely golden brown, yes.
They're popping.
Yeah.